What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we gotta talk about more Scream 6 rumors. Another day, another Scream 6 video. It feels good to be back in the swing of things, but we have viewer Anon coming out and really going all in on a lot of different things. So he talks about Clips Comprehend, which I find pretty funny, especially how he completely throws Clips Comprehend under the bus, which is interesting, and then also throws us some new information, including a new title of the movie, which is something I really want to talk about because I'm very confused, as well as even a Kirby role, Gale phone call, all of this stuff. So let's go through. I'm just going to read through all of his tweets. It's in one long thread, and then we'll talk a bit about kind of the analysis of it. So he says, full disclosure, about a week ago, I was contacted by someone who claimed to have an in-depth plot synopsis of Scream 6. This was an untested source whose info, while detailed, did not match the things I had previously heard, whereas my info did match Clips. Honestly, because I had vouched for it, I wanted Clips' info to be correct. It would mean my sources going back to Scream 5 were still solid, but there was no way to know for sure who was telling the truth. Through another source, I was lucky enough to view a rough version of Scream 6's trailer, and the footage matched the news source's descriptions down to Kirby's role and Gale phone dialogue with the killer. You know you're like the 10th person to try this, right? But there was a kicker. While previous sources swore the title was Scream 2, the news source has been adamant it was in fact Scream 6 with Roman numerals, and the title card on the trailer I viewed, Scream 6. It's too much evidence to ignore. Clips is lying. My previous sources were either misled or actively trying to throw me off track, so I'm sorry for my part in spreading misinformation. Anyway, if you made it this far down, Kirby is now an FBI agent. So that is a lot of info to have thrown at us. I guess, like, have we all kind of assumed at this point or considered, even back in the day, maybe Clips Comprehend was part of some sort of like misinformation campaign? I mean, maybe it's possible, and actually, well, based off viewer Anon, it seems like that is exactly what happened. So not only was Clips Comprehend fake, but not just fake on purpose, but also, and this is where it kind of gets weird, this is why, like, specifically him, I always said, like, he comes off very strange to me, him and Clips Comprehend, but the way he says it is like, so sources that were right on all this stuff on Scream 5, they're now actively lying to him, or like that. To me, I don't really understand that. So that's a little fishy. I just kind of want to throw that out there because I don't really know what to think about it. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions of it in the comments. But some of the biggest, obviously, details, right? So Kirby's an FBI agent, if true, and we have to kind of say that for all these things, right? If true, Kirby's an FBI agent. That's quite a career path. So I guess that it's pretty easy to bring her into the fold then. I don't know if her... Well, here's the thing. We don't really know too much about her personality beyond the movie of Scream 4. We don't really know what she was like. What would she have gone to college for? Like, all that stuff. So I guess you could really do literally whatever you want with her. So if you wanted her to be a chef, she could have been a chef. If you wanted her to be a hotel manager, like whatever you want her to do, she could do it because you kind of left the door open for that. So FBI agent is an interesting path. You would imagine some hand-to-hand stuff, which I'm always into. So you got that. The Gale phone call, if that is the case, and if that is the dialogue, pretty funny, pretty interesting. And I guess if we're taking it as gospel, if we're taking this as truth, then that's all in the first trailer, right? So you're gonna know for sure Kirby's in the FBI. You're gonna know for sure Gale is gonna get that phone call. It's gonna ring and she'll answer, and you'll hear a quote from it. So that's pretty cool. Now, all right. The thing I really want to talk about, here's where, because when he talks about like a misinformation campaign and Clips Comprehend lying, here's what I don't really understand at all. So if the title is Scream 6, well, let me just say this. Number one, and it's Roman numeral, right? So it's VI. Number one, I like that. I actually prefer and we've said this before, so much more should it be called Scream 6 than it should it be called Scream, exclamation mark twice. I absolutely believe that. But here's the deal. We have seen the title, I don't know what it's called, when you say cut in action and stuff and you do the board thing. We've seen that, and it says Scream 2 on it. We've seen actually just the recent picture of, I think it was Tyler or Matt. I don't know necessarily who in particular, but one of them had a hoodie on, and it literally said Scream 2 on it. So there's only two different ways of this going, right? Number one, they're all doing, we saw fake title cards, we saw and I think it was actually was it in one of the screens at some point too? Like, we've seen a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and I think in one of the monitors we even saw it as well. So either they've been doing it purposely to deceive us this entire time, or viewer anon again is wrong. And I say again, by the way, because you could say sorry, you could say I spread misinformation and I'll do better. You still were wrong on all of that stuff. Get better sources. You can blame your sources, which is what he did. He threw the sources under the bus, but you're still the person who spreads it. So credibility is going to take a hit. There's really no way around that. Now, the only way you could improve is by not making those mistakes again and constantly being right. So that's the case here. It better be called Scream 6 now, right? If it's not called Scream 6, if it's still Scream 2, then viewer anon would be a joke to me. And that's the one I'm just really, really confused on. Because while I want it to be, I think it makes more sense. I like it better from a visual perspective. It literally is the sixth movie. I mean, these stupid movies, all of them, not just Scream. I never liked Scream 5 doing just Scream. I mean, I always thought it, and in fact, we all call it Scream 5. And that's the point, right? If you're going to call a movie Scream 5, if you're going to call this one Scream 6, it's chronologically in order. It's the sixth film. It is part of the universe. It's not like a spin-off. It's not, they're not rebooting the franchise. Like, they're really not, because it's the same characters and you're adding more. So it is Scream 6, and the last one was Scream 5. Now, here's the deal. While I want it to be called Scream 6, and although I'm confused because all of the marketing seems to lead to it not being called Scream 6, if it is called Scream 6, I would like to throw out there, and I think people have said this to me before, I don't, like when I was talking about Scream 5, remember, I don't watch many other, horror movies. Was it Final Destination? There was another horror movie that's done this before, where there was kind of a reboot. It didn't have a number to it. It was just the name, and then they went back to numbering them afterwards. Like, I think that's very stupid. So they kind of put themselves in a corner where, like, I don't like the idea of it being called Scream 2 at all. I've never liked that idea, but in my opinion, they've kind of screwed themselves, because if it's called Scream 6, well, why in God's name was Scream not called Scream? Because now it's just confusing. Scream 2, 3, 4, Scream 6. It becomes idiotic at some point. I know I'm making a big deal over the title. It's just a stupid thing that you don't need to be stupid. You just, like, put thought into it and you don't run into this issue. So I'd just like to throw that out there real fast. But hey, pretty interesting. So again, it tells you a couple different things. Gale, Kirby, title. Also tells you, I'd imagine, if it's a rough cut of the trailer, and, well, you don't even need this to be said by me. Look at the date, right? November 17th is the date today. I mean, we're still within, I would imagine, the next month or so we get the trailer. So, we'll be able to verify at that point. So if, like, Kirby's not an FBI agent, or it's not called Scream 6, I'm so confused. I'd be so confused at that point. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you know when all these videos go up. And I'll see you all on the next one.